Welcome all to another RGN C64 Quick Load, your concise guide to latest news and releases for the Commodore 64 delivered in bite-sized portions. Let's see what we have for you in this episode. Infestation 2 is shaping up to be a seriously ambitious follow-up to last year's RGN Gamers Choice Award winner. Monty Boyd is really pushing things this time. We're getting full-colour multi-directional scrolling, much larger levels, and a broader mix of enemies to contend with. The original's minifigure style is gone, but the new larger sprites and expanded environments give the sequel a look that feels both familiar and refreshed. Crystal collecting is still a key objective, and Monty's working on new weapon upgrades that actually change how you tackle each area. It's still early days, but the current build has been a lot of fun to play. I'm keen to see how it all comes together, hopefully with a full release in 2026. Star Hero is a vertically scrolling shoot-'em-up for 1 or 2 players. Built entirely with the original SEAC engine, the story sets up the universe under threat from an ancient creature that's wiped out billions, leaving you and a lone ship armed with Barisonic cannons as the galaxy's final hope. For a first-time homebrew from a solo dev, it's a commendable effort. The backgrounds and sprite work show real care, especially given SEAC's limitation. But the gameplay doesn't quite land. Enemies soak up far too many hits, pushing the action away from classic reactive shooting and more towards memorising waves and squeezing through tight gaps. Visually it's solid, but as a shoot 'em up, Star Hero ultimately feels unrewarding. If you want a great example of how the SEAC engine, or at least a heavily modified version of it, can be pushed towards a near commercial experience, then the current progress of Twin Tigers 2 from SEAC maestro Alf Ingve is well worth a look. Twin Tigers 2 is shaping up to be a fast, intense C64 shooter, clearly inspired by 80s arcade classics like Tiger Heli, Raiden and Flying Shark. Even in this early work-in-progress footage, the game moves at a cracking pace. Enemies hit hard, and the looping attack patterns mean that if you don't take out enemy vehicles, they'll circle back for another strike. Boss battles and some nicely staged set-piece movements also help elevate the action. The use of shadow effects is a real standout, giving the visuals a depth and polish rarely seen in SEAC-based titles. The final version is planned to include a full soundtrack, more in-game effects, and even a 2-player mode. There's no firm release date yet, but the target is 2026 under the Cytronic label, and from what we've seen so far, Twin Tigers 2 is looking very promising. Our Chef is a straightforward and lightweight platformer, and the demo release for the game gives a clear idea of what to expect. You control a grumpy chef collecting bags of flour and magic eggs before the cake burns, while avoiding hazards like rats, mosquitoes, falling knives and boiling pots scattered around the kitchen. The gameplay is simple and mostly focused on timing your jumps and navigating obstacles, with a design that feels more like a classic budget title than a full-scale platformer. The visuals are clean and colourful, and the upbeat soundtrack fits the light-hearted tone. It's not a deep or complex experience, but as a small arcade-style platformer, Our Chef is looking to offer a quick bit of retro fun, and the demo shows the foundation of what could become a modest, charming C64 release. Zezito in the Glittering Caves is a deliberately lightweight platformer that leans hard into an early C64 charm. You guide Zezito, armed only with a bucket and a paint roller, through a network of underground caves, repainting floors while avoiding spiked snails that leave poisonous slime trails. Each stage is short and neatly contained, making it easy to jump in for a quick session. Visually, the game uses high-res mode and hardware sprites to create a clean, colourful look that's surprisingly appealing for something so minimalistic. The in-game soundtrack lifts things even further, delivering upbeat tunes that fit the game's friendly retro personality. Behind the scenes, the game is mostly coded in Forth rather than pure machine code. You'll occasionally see some slowdown when multiple sprites hit the screen, but it never becomes unplayable, and in a funny way, it reinforces the nostalgic aesthetic. There are no elaborate mechanics, no complex puzzles, and no grand difficulty curve here. Zezito in the Glittering Caves is simply a small, quirky platformer with charm. The kind of classic pick-up and play experience C64 fans still appreciate today. TT64 is an arcade racer where your goal is simple: race out of the city and reach one of the 5 possible finish points before the timer expires. The game spans 5 stages, and the route is determined by which side of the road you're on when each checkpoint bar drains. Controls are straightforward: steer with the left and right, accelerate with fire, brake with down, and the route map updates as you progress. Difficulty levels change how fast the rival bikes appear on screen, with harder modes requiring much quicker reactions. It's a no-frills old-school racer, but TT64 offers a neat bit of pick-up-and-play action with multiple routes and a solid challenge for score chasers. The game is designed primarily for power systems, but fully playable on NTSC, where it runs a little faster and slightly tougher. And that is a wrap on this episode of C64 Quick Load. Until next time, bye for now.